What's up, everybody? It's Jonathan Tool here. Today, I want to do a quick video on the pedal plate I ordered from Advanced Sim Racing. So my biggest issue with this pedal set, when I was looking at it, I couldn't find any like unboxing videos. With my setup on my sim rig, I'm just running like it's like a regular profile type mount for my pedals. So I really wasn't too sure how I was going to be able to mount this, but maybe this video, if you're ever having that issue, maybe this video will kind of help you with that. So right off the bat, we can see we got some aluminum profile. In the listing, it says this is like 1.5 inch, 6-inch aluminum profile. And as you can tell, this is more than 6 inches. This aluminum profile is actually 8 inches. I might have misread that, or maybe I'm thinking about something different, but we got two 8-inch pieces of aluminum profile, and I believe this is 1.5-inch aluminum profile. Moving on. So we have some mounting hardware here. We got some countersunk screws, some big cap screws. These look like M8s. These look like maybe M6s for the countersunks. Let's pull the plate out. Okay, this is the pedal plate. This is very stout. It's 1/8 inch thick steel. So we can look here. Yep, it's 1/8 inch thick steel. It's all black, probably powder coated. One thing on the listing, I think it says it's like about 14 by 9 inch. So yeah, it is 14, and it is about 9.5. So the good thing about this is like these pieces, even though they're 8-inch, they're going to be completely under this plate. The way my pedal plate is now, like these profile pieces actually stick out. So I kind of had to adjust them around my pedals. But this is actually going to be probably pretty like perfect almost. Now keep in mind, when you mount this to your profile rig, you may need like some gussets, like some 90-degree gussets to mount it. So I wanted to give a little heads up on these gussets right here. These are what these are called, I believe, 90-degree gussets. Be sure to buy these with these little tabs. I don't know if you can see, but they actually break away. You can slip a flathead screwdriver up under there and pop that off. Be careful though, because if you buy the really cheap ones on Amazon, you're going to get these. They're cast into the actual piece. You won't be able, you could get a grinder and grind them off maybe, but it's just so much easier. These are bought from a company called Framing Tech. That may be a part number right there for them. But everything I bought off of Framing Tech, they have all kind of aluminum profile stuff, and this stuff is top notch. Like you can actually, I know this has hardware in it, but you can actually feel the difference in these. So just keep that in mind. If you're mounting this, if you're mounting the Advanced Sim Racing pedal or the pedal plate to a profile rig, you're going to need at least 2 of these. So here's an example. If you can't break the tabs off of these, if you notice how I had mine like this so I could actually bolt it to the profile piece, you'll notice like those tabs definitely get in the way. So they're perfect for mounting like this, you know, takes out all the slop, but you're going to have to mount it like that. So keep that in mind. So this is my current setup with the heel plate, kind of like a custom build here. I'll show you from start to finish about me taking this off and mounting the Advanced Sim Racing plate. So we got to get in here, get these off. As you can see, I just had this mounted to a couple of profile pieces. These are also about 8 inches. I believe these are M8s, so we're going to be using a 6mm Allen key here. Just gonna keep my T-nuts in there. We can probably reuse those. Damn, I had that one tight. I love these profile parts and pieces. These are the gussets I was talking about earlier. They're just a 90-degree gusset. If you ever get some of these, make sure that they have the tabs that you can actually break off, because if not, it's not going to want to not sit in this little slot thing. You'll always want to stay in the slot. So this is the advanced sim racing piece. What we're going to do with this is attach this gusset onto this piece. And this is the hardware that from the package. I'm going to use that. All you're going to do is get this little T-nut. Just slot it in there like that. Let's see. Sure I get this on camera. See the T-nuts in there. And you're just going to get this piece. You can put this on however you want. For right now, we're just going to get it started pretty much. And it's the same 6mm head. So as you can see, this piece is on. We can move it. You can tighten this down, get a little bit more tight. And so we're going to have to adjust this thing. The screw holes, I think, are like 9.5 inches or something like that apart. So we're going to have to space these for that 9 inches. So we're going to mount this piece of profile to our pedal plate. Now, when we mount these, the screw holes in the pedal plate are about 9.25 inches apart from each other. So we're just going to have to keep that in mind, that we're going to have to adjust all this as we put it in. We're going to have to set these in place because we're not going to be able to get to either side to tighten these bolts down in here. So we're going to go ahead and account for the 9.25 inches that the bolt holes need for the pedal plate. We're going to use the T-nut that we left in there a minute ago. Just get it started, kind of snug down. Like that. So we're going to move all this stuff around. All right, so we got the other piece of profile. And what you can do, it doesn't matter. This is just preference, but you can go ahead and put the T-nut on the bolt if you want. Go ahead and get it started. And you can just slot this in just like that. Maybe a little bit easier. I don't really care either way. So now we're going to attach this to the pedal support using the T-nut that was already in here. If you don't have one in that slot, then you need to put another T-nut in there. Just kind of get it snug. Get this one snug. So we can still move these around a little bit as we need. All right, now comes the fun part, is the measuring. Who doesn't love measuring? So we're just going to kind of eyeball this. Not really eyeball it, but get it to about 9.25. Kind of hard to do. And that's about 9.25 right there. When you're measuring this, make sure you're putting the tape measure about in the center line of the slot on the piece that you're holding the end of the tape measure at. So just eyeballing it, that's about 9.25. We'll tighten everything down and remeasure it. And just remember to try to get these things as straight as you can. Also, keep in mind that you want these about in the center where your pedals are going to be at. So just keep that in mind as well. Don't put it off to one side because you may not have, like, the pedal plate might not extend enough for like your clutch, say. Also keep in mind that the ends of these, I'm just guessing, should be about a half to 3/4 of an inch away from your pedals. That's about where the pedal plate will end. Just go over everything one last time. Make sure everything, all these are nice and tight, because once the pedal plate is on, we're not going to be able to mess with any of this stuff. So when you get your pedal plate over here, uh, we're going to be putting these little countersunk screws in these holes. These are going to mount this plate to your profiles on your sim rig. So whenever we do this, keep in mind to put these T-nuts, yeah, there we go. Keep in mind to put these T-nuts on just as loose as you can. The more space that you have in between here to slide onto that profile, the better. Don't put them on too loose though, because you risk them falling off and you may get one side in and then you have to take it back off to put the other one back on. We're just putting that countersunk screw in there like so. And on this back side, you can use your finger to support it. Get the other T-nut. Make sure it's the flat side towards the pedal plate. And just like that, like 3 turns just to be sure you're good. And then you have both of these on here like so. All right, here comes the fun part to see if our measurements are somewhat right. You can put this pedal plate and see how far your attaching hardware is from the profiles. But mine looks, it's hard to see it. Mine's lining up pretty good, so I'm going to try my luck here. Might have to fish up under it, make sure that those T-nuts are going in the profiles. And mine are in. So I was noticing, like, the pedal plate is a little bit further away from my pedals and I kind of want it. I'm just going to take this back off and reposition these profiles. Now I'm just going to loosen this, the bolt going into these pieces right here, and just move them up maybe like 1/4 of an inch. Not much at all. Go one last time, make sure everything is tight. All right, let's try it again. Try to straighten this one up. There we go, they're both in. And I think that's going to be about as close as I'm going to be able to get. So I'm going to get about, this looks like to be about a 2 or 3 millimeter Allen key. Okay, this was actually a 4 millimeter Allen key. Also keep in mind too, if you can't get this plate right, like my pedals, most pedals you can adjust them really well, so you can actually move these up or a little bit further away. We're going to tighten this down, snug them up, and that's going to be it. It may be a little bit crooked, might have to adjust it some, but that's going to be a wrap.